This reading is for Virgos. It's a general reading for July 2018. It's for those it can relate to, then it's for you. Those who can't, it wasn't for you. Okay? The challenge here for Virgo for July 2018 is pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. You have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is a message that's coming through from either a Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio. It's usually a message of new love when it starts in that first time you meet somebody and you're the excitement and purity of the emotions associated with first love. And then you have the Judgment card who follows that with some reconciliation. Okay? This could be some reconciliation with somebody you've been with before. Because you've got the Tower of the major changes that will be coming through for you in this new relationship. You have the King of Swords. King of Swords is usually an Aquarius, Libra, or is usually Gemini. That's it. Yes. The view of the King of Swords will depend on what you want to gain from him. If you want to straightforward, honest advice with no frills, he's your man. If you want someone to wipe away your tears and offer emotional support, you're on the wrong track. It's not that the King of Swords is callous, it's just that he doesn't do emotions. Okay? You then got the Eight of Swords, where it's showing that you're up in your head, stressed out, anxious, that it's making yourself sick regarding this King of Swords, because you're up in your head fearing that there's going to be a three-way relationship or heartache that you've had before. Your wish is to for your wishes to come through, which could be with a Leo, as you got the strength, or it also could be, which could be have the strength to deal with what's going up in your head right now, because it's all in the mind, the sword. But the three-way could be that there's a fiery sign, Aries, Leo, or even Sagittarius. Yes, could be even a young page, could be a child, or it just could be a message coming through from a fiery person. The Page of Swords also enables you to see the world through new eyes. This could refer to the influence of a young person or a child who's bound with energy. It will be infectious. Or equally, this could be a lively lad or a lass, could be the bearer of or cause of some good news. So keep a lookout for someone who's very enthusiastic and eager. They'll inspire you to make a few changes. Okay, Virgo. For your past, Virgo, you have keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. In the past, you've had the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is usually representing some form of betrayal, theft, heartache, not one of the best cards to actually receive, you know. Virgo, in the past, because this is a past card, if you have done or said something you regret, you may soon find that everyone else has discovered your little secret. Okay? Even if at the time you thought your action was for the best, it's quite likely that the truth is about to come to light, which could prove at best uncomfortable and at worst decidedly difficult for you. You could also feel the urge to make yourself feel even scared for what's taken place. You have the Death card. The Death card is usually represents sometimes Scorpio, and also it represents in the factor that something is over. You know, it's done. You know, let's see. Death card shows a major change, like the cards up here with the Tower and the Judgment. It's like the universe has to step in and intervene here, right? It's letting you know, Virgo, the more accepting you can be of change of all sorts during this time, the less you try to control, the better and the more comfortable this time will be for you. Virgo, often what you need to let go of is some sort of self-limiting belief or attitude. Sometimes we just can't see how our attitude are hurting us, and when that is true, this time period can be a wake-up call. The energy of this time, Virgo, is not just change or destruction, it's a change of, it's not just a change of destruction followed by renewal, even though one door may have closed, another is opening. But the question is, Virgo, will you have the courage step on through? The card that follows that is the Seven of Cups, because you've got choices, right? You've got several choices to go and say what you're going to choose. Excuse me. Doesn't necessarily mean all of them are good for you, you know. You've got so many options, Virgo. You're spoiled for choice. You really need to make up your mind if you're going to make any progress, though. But on the plus side, Virgos, is that once you do make up your mind, on the plus side, once you have committed yourself onto a decision, the results can be very pleasing. But there's a second meaning to it as well, though. If you are living in cloud cuckoo land, are your expectations and plans so ambitious that they verge on being ridiculous? Or are you just overconfident about your abilities? Virgo, it's good to set high goals, but you need to learn to walk before you decide to run. You know what I mean? It's a creep before you crawl, you know? One of these things, one of those. Also, when you should be working, Virgo, you could be doing other things that you shouldn't be doing. You've got the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups usually reflects on family, marriage, commitment, and your happiness in your domestic life is all good, right? The joy you seek, Virgo, is within your grasp. This is time when the deepest joys of life will bring you great happiness. Family matters, relationships, emotional well-being are all potential source of delight. You have the Three of Cups, where it's showing, say, like somebody's actually celebrating in the past. You had a good marriage and relationship and where people were celebrating in the past, or it could be that you were in a three-way relationship. Because Three of Cups also represents abundance, good fortune, security, prosperity, celebration, creativity, you know. The Three of Cups is a social card, taking us away from our immediate family and partner and into the wider world. In business matters, for some of you Virgo, the Three of Cups encourages entrepreneurs to explore new markets, take on new staff, make connections, and if they're feeling particularly brave, engage in a little philanthropy. Okay, get that word out. Right? If you're seeking work or change your career, networking can be a useful way to move forward. Because these new opportunities may even be made known to you via a friend or socially, if you're looking for new work. The card that covers that is the Six of Swords. Six of Swords represents someone moving to calmer waters. Okay? Now, when you see the Six of Swords, it's likely that the past events have caused you a few sleepless nights into the bargain, because within your family here, because there was some form of betrayals and lies in the past when you had your happy family, and then you're moving away from that. So there was a breakup in a relationship here in the past. Okay? The Six of Swords suggests you have caused I think because I must have done Virgos 4 times. This is my 4th attempt at doing Virgo, so if I feel a bit tired because it's like repetitively doing this card over and over again. Alright. Because you could come up from a broken relationship here, okay? You're moving forward into your life in the past. In a relationship, you need to get talking. You and your partner may have to make compromises, but as long as you remain honest with each other, and everything can work out well. The Six of Swords is a card that celebrates communication, so if you need to ask for help or get to the truth of the matter, now is the ideal opportunity to start talking. There goes. Okay? The card that follows that is the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is somebody from your past. So you could have been going back to a relationship you had before with either Aquarius, Libra or Gemini, or a Pisces, Scorpio or Cancerian. See here. Or yeah, it might have Scorpio in the chart. Okay. You need to communicate and compromise with each other for this new reunion, because the card that follows that is the Five of Cups, where you're crying over spilt milk, where you're so focused on the past you don't see a new beginning. The Two Cups behind you. Okay. You then get the Seven of Swords again, Virgo, in the past. So it could have been repeated again. If you said something you regret, you may soon find out that everyone else has discovered your little secret. Okay? Even at the time you thought your action was for the best. Right? Or on the other hand, you might need to remember the old line that sorry about that. You also need to be aware, Virgo, someone could have a few secrets that you need to discover. This could be an errant lover or third party with designing your partner. The Seven of Swords also warns that there's something underhand going on around you. Sometimes this is a concrete at best, so be sure to lock up your bike and keep your valuables safe. But on the other hand, you might need to remember the old line that just because you're paranoid doesn't mean that everybody's out to get you. Okay? Virgo. Virgo, another warning for you is if you work, right, with other people, keep an eye out for backstabbing. Okay? Someone may seem pleasant enough to your face, but they could have an agenda. So it's may seem pleasant enough to your face, but they could have an agenda that requires you removal from the scene. So don't get caught up in office gossip or anything else like that. For your present moment, that was in the past, you got playfulness. Recapture your romance allows your inner youthful spirit to turn to shine. So it shows you're going back to somebody from your past, and it's like you're recapturing your romance that you had before. And you also was followed with the confirmation on that is the Hangman. Right? Now the Hangman, I would say, is there has to be some form of sacrifice. It's possible that there's an outdated attitude or wish you need to let go of. Any sacrifice that you make will open up your life to something even more positive than what you let go of. So all in all, this should be a thoughtful, reflective time for you, Virgo. Particularly if you're willing to look at it and how you might best serve your own interests by being willing to change. You know what I mean? Because the relationship happened before, you're going through a new beginning here. It's time to be playful. You know, it's time for change. Okay? Because you can see the tower that's come down. The major tower came down for change. Right? For those Virgos regarding work, nothing much may seem to be happening, and you may well be sick of it. Right? This is regarding your work. This is a great time to figure out if there's anything that you personally can do about it. If this is the case, there is not an action that you can take, because it's like the Hangman doesn't go forward or backwards, it's stagnant. Okay? Virgo, some Virgos need to try and take the slowness off the wheels of change personally. Things will change, right? Because the major change come in. It just may not happen on your timetable. So Virgos, relax, or else look for a different job. Okay? You've got the Wheel of Destiny. The Wheel of Destiny shows that it's completion. The wheel has turned. Okay? Now, looking at the wheel, right? We can see here that whatever happened in the past, this too shall pass, whether it's good times or bad times, it passes. Right, so if you're having a good moment at the moment, eventually it's gonna the wheel's gonna turn and you're gonna be down. If you're down at the moment, the wheel turns, you're gonna be up. Right? If you suddenly find yourself sitting on top of the wheel, keep your perspective, as that too, like everything else, changes. Okay? Live in the now. Count your blessings, Virgo, and just realize that much of life is outside of your control. But that even that is okay. Roll with the changes and think positively, Virgo. You've also got the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups, following that card, is telling you to think positively, because you seem to be focused on the past. It's like you're crying over again spilt milk, right? Now the changes that you need to go and say do, right? Because 5 is tarot pack are not a kind of cards you have bouncing about the room, bubbling over with, you know, especially when it comes to the 5 of Cups. Because the 5 of Cups usually demonstrate some kind of heartache. Because it's with loss and endings. This is in your present moment, okay? It's what you're focusing on. Obviously, few of us relish such circumstances, but when the Five of Cups appears, it's at least possible to make the most of the situation. This card may mean you have, or will soon have, you have to part with something or someone. But in the long run, it will be clear that you're making way for something better. Okay? Could be the old ways of dealing with things, saying things, because it seems to be you said some things in the past that needs to change. Okay? Okay, you got the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups also shows that there's nothing wrong with taking some time out to think things through. Right? And the Four of Cups appears in the reading. It's trying to warn you against too much navel gazing. The Four of Cups asks you to use the opportunity to have alone in a positive way, either to engage in a creative project, seek self-insight, or take time out for some healing. Okay? So if you just come through heartache, you need to take some time out for yourself for healing. Okay, Virgo? You got the King of Pentacles, which could also represent yourself, or it's a male who's usually owns their own business, a financial stable, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Okay? Who's speaking the truth and clarity. Okay? That maybe you need to speak some truth and clarity, or the person needs to speak some truth and clarity towards you. Right, when you see the Ace of Swords, you need to recognize something, Virgo, that has been hidden from you until now. It might be sticking out to what you believe to be true, or fight for justice, or being frank with yourself. In the same way, the Ace of Swords asks you to be honest with yourself when facing new challenges. This is a time to be logical and calm. Be ready to take action and do so quickly. Do not indulge in self-doubt. If the past has been rather unkind to you, avoid being discouraged. Okay? You can succeed, but you must go forward boldly and with confidence. Right? You need to be more resolute in your plans and be willing to push forward despite any problems you face, you know? Because nothing's perfect. It's going to be good times and bad times, you know, that you're going to be experiencing especially when you actually reconciliating with somebody else from your past and you've been through heartache and pain before. I also see this as a good opportunity to resolve any difficulties you have with another person and analyze the problems and then get together to resolve the situation. It's a very challenging card, the Ace of Swords. It also suggests that you can achieve your goals as long as you are conscious and hardworking. Right? The card that covers that is the Five of Swords. So there is going to be some form of conflict going on. Virgo? There is some form of conflict going to be going on, even though in some way the worst is over. You may have lost a battle, but at least that situation has ended. All you can do now is retreat to a corner and gather your resources. Because no one can win all the time, right? Because you're going to be arguing a conflict, speaking the truth with the earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. Right? The card that covers that is the Knight of Wands. Now the Knight of Wands could represent an Aries, Sagittarius or Leo. Right? You could be having a conversation or there's going to become conflict with the Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, who seems to want to pop in and pop out your life, usually for sex only. Right? You could be speaking to the earth sign regarding this Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Okay? Now, the card that follows that is the Four of Swords. Okay, Virgo? You've got the Four of Swords. Now, the Four of Swords usually speaks about it's time to move on. But are you still working on last year's timetable? Right? Some Virgos are. Some Virgos are stuck in a doldrum. It could simply be that you're dwelling too much on the past. You know? Or the past events are cramping the here and now. You know? You may have had a rough time, and this has made you extremely cautious when it comes to exploring new projects, plans or partnership. Virgo, your confidence is probably being sapped by misadventure, and this is understandable. But it's time to get back on your feet, dust off yourself, draw a line under your mistakes and move on. The Four of Swords has another separate meaning too. If you are moving towards a confrontation with a person or organisation, don't do anything yet, Virgo. That's my advice to you at this moment in time. Just make a tactful retreat for now. What you really need to do is dispassionately gather the facts, form a strategy, then go on the offensive when the time is right. You may find that after all, you've simply got the wrong end of the stick. Okay? Now the card that follows that is the Moon card. Where's the Moon card? Yes, it could be delusional. Something might not even be true. It could be some secret that's coming out. Moon card also represents Pisces. Okay? When the Moon card is actually showing up in your reading, Virgo, it's usually saying that there is some form of secret that's going to be revealed. That things are confusing at the moment. You might find it hard to even understand where you're coming from, or less where others are thinking or feeling. It's a very confusing time. You need to try and sit with the uncertainty. Don't try and force things or people to do things before they're ready. Okay? Because this card is also a Pisces of the tarot deck, right? You're definitely more psychic and intuitive phase than usual, so it will be important for you to trust your instincts and your impressions, even if you don't know where they're coming from. Also, Virgo, not that you need to be mistrusting, but it will be helpful for you to realize that when the card appears, it's possible that all is not what it seems. Okay? If you feel you can't trust someone, then you probably can't. Go with your gut feeling. Or if you're waiting on an answer from someone, it may unfortunately take longer than you would like it to. So try to stay patient, Virgo. Now, for the future cards, you got unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. You got the Three of Cups, Virgo. The Three of Cups usually represents some form of celebration, but it also could represent also a three-way relationship, right? It also represents celebration and your security and good fortune. You've got the Lovers card here in the future as well. That covers the Three of Cups. Could be a choice you have to go and make, or it could be in a three-way relationship. When it concerns love, when this card appears of the lovers, could even, because lovers also represent Gemini, it means it's time to bring love in a capital letter to the central stage of your life. This is either a new relationship or a powerful rebonding of an old one. Either way, you'll be quite happy about how romance is going, and others will likely remark that you're glowing. So you're very happy with this relationship. This is serious stuff. It could mean even a new relationship where you are meeting each other's families and talking about forever. Again, share your joy with those around you who need it. Life will feel blissful to you, which is wonderful. Okay? You've then followed with the Strength card. The Strength card also represents Leo. The Strength card indicates the importance of mind over matter and reminds you to focus on what you do want rather than what you don't want in your life. The main point is that you have the ability to harness your thoughts and use them for your and everyone else's highest good. Not only do you have the ability, you have the responsibility. So conquer your fears, control your impulses, and never lose patience with yourself or what you're doing, Virgo. The card that follows that is the Moon. Again, you've got the Moon card here. So, like I said to you, follow your instincts and your gut feeling. If something doesn't feel right, it usually isn't right, because you're following your gut feeling. Because there's some secret still that needs to be revealed, but you're also confused at the same time if it's real or not real. So get clarity ahead of time, because you got here rushing in is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands represents Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. Right? This could be confusing for you with this person coming in. Alright, because this person usually coming in and out your life is usually somebody who thinks that they can come in and out your life just to go and say, basically have sex. But also the Knight of Wands suggests you or someone around you is bursting with energy. In the right circumstances, this can be a bonus if they're willing to try new ideas and set out on new adventures. Nevertheless, though, Virgo, there could be a downside with this willingness to take risks, as it can degenerate into foolhardiness. If it's you, Virgo, that is bouncing about like a trigger, make the most of it, vibrant vibe, and use your energy to try and do something different. This could be anything from starting a small business to having a go at skydiving. The important thing is to harness your drive in a positive way, because left unchanneled, it could cause chaos. Right? In matters of romance, though, Virgo will say be a little cautious, because a person could arrive on the scene who seems to be a knight in shining armor. They might be great fun for a while, but they're unlikely to be reliable and very likely to disappear, never to be seen again. On top of that, you've got the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords could be yourself, or you could have Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini in your chart, right? Or it could be somebody that you're actually going to be meeting or coming across. Now, the Queen suggests someone who's direct and intelligent. Such person is likely to succeed at any time, or anything they put their mind to. It could be you that is particularly astute at the moment, or someone around you. Either way, this ability to cut to the crux of the matter is a bonus that can work in your favour. If you think the Queen of Swords represents someone you know, you can rest assured they are trustworthy and straightforward. This person is unpretentious, upfront, and honest. To be frank, and the Queen of Swords is always that, they could be a little too direct, and they may be at times when you wish they could be a little bit more diplomatic, you know. The Queen then comes with the Ace of Swords. It could be yourself, or it could even be somebody who's in your vicinity or in your family, or somebody who's actually you just met, but they're very straight to the point and they don't hold their words. Okay? You need to recognize something when the Ace of Swords come up, Virgo. You need to recognize something that's been hidden from you until now. It might be sticking out to what you believe to be true, a fight for justice, or being frank with yourself. In the same way, the Ace of Swords asks you to be honest with yourself when facing new challenges. This could be a new challenge with this air person, could be Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. The Ace of Swords asks you to be honest. Be honest with yourself when facing new challenges. This is the time to be logical and calm. Be ready to take action and do so quickly. Okay? If the past has been rather unkind to you, avoid being discouraged, Virgo, because you can succeed, but you must go forward boldly with confidence. You need to be resolute in your plans and be willing to push forward despite any problems you face. Nevertheless, you must be honest with yourself in relation to your abilities. This is also true of your interaction with other folks. You need to clear the air and be sure that you all want the same things. Even if this causes some friction for a time, you know? Got to be both on the same, both on the same cover. This is a good opportunity to resolve any difficulties you have with another person. Okay? Because the person you could be dealing with could be Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini, or have in their chart. The card that covers that is work. So this could be something that's going on at work, which is Virgo. Okay? That you probably need to speak up, or someone's going to be speaking to you and telling you some home truths. Alright? Now, when the Eight of Pentacles appears in your spread, you'll have to work for the outcomes you desire. This may sound dreary, but it need not be. For example, if you're learning new skills, Virgo, you have to put some effort into it. But the Eight of Pentacles suggests your efforts will be rewarded, either financially or with pleasure of knowing you can do something well. This makes perfect sense in matters where there is tangible outcome, but it applies to relationship too. Right, Virgo? In some cases, the Eight of Pentacles suggests that the only way you can get the relationship you desire is if the relevant parties are willing to work at things and compromise. The more you put into whatever it is that you are doing, the better the results will be. On the other hand, it could be that you are so good at what you are doing, right? That it's now becoming boring because now you know it like the back of your hand. Yes, maybe at the pinnacle of your career, but you need some challenges and something that can get your teeth into. Alright? So then what card that follows that is the Wheel of Fortune. Right? The Wheel of Fortune is talking about change. It's talking about the wheel turning. If things were bad at one point, they're going to turn on to be good. If it was good at one point, it's going to be bad. The wheel tells you in general, it looks as though things are changing, and in most changes, this indicates positive, needed changes, but for some people, change itself is very difficult and can almost be traumatic. This is very spiritual and karmic orientated time. Change is part of the cycle of nature of life. Virgo, this card always reminds us that this too shall pass, whether that's good times or bad times, it passes. If suddenly you find yourself sitting on top of the world, keep your perspective of that too, like everything else changes. Live in the now and count your blessings. And just realize, Virgo, that much of life is outside of your control, but that even that is okay. Roll with any changes and think positively, Virgo. Because the card that follows that is the